So how can you separate the smell from the refrigerator?
Exactly.
After a
That's so
while, you
true.
want to throw the brand new refrigerator out, right? Or then what do? You avoid it, right? You don't open the refrigerator. So
Hmm.
get rid of the friend, or it makes you not want to answer the phone because
Yeah.
you can't separate their behavior from them. As much
Hmm.
after a while, so it's almost like when you're correcting someone, it's not as personal as it may feel, but you have to be corrected because that that habit in you, that thought in you, that smell in you will begin to expand or permeate you,
Mm.
start to make you smell,
That's
right?
so true. So
Right?
true.
People will
That's
no longer
good.
be able to separate or differentiate you from the smell. Every time you look at your refrigerator, the first thing you think of is how it smells.
Hmm.
When you first look at it, all you can think about is how nice it is, and and how and has all these features. But then it's like one day, like, ooh, what does that smell? So then you close it. Then the next day, like, ooh, what does that smell? And you close it. Then the more you do that, after a while, you start anticipating the smell every time you see the thing,
Hmm.
right? Because you're aware that something exists. And if you haven't cleaned it out, if you haven't fixed it, you become increasingly aware of how it's going to smell. And
Hmm.
what does it make you do? Either want to throw it out or avoid it,
Yeah, it's so
right?
true.
So, to your point, when you catch yourself with something, it is to keep that smell off of you.
Mm.
Keep that smell out of you because you can't separate the thought from the outcome any more the smell than the refrigerator.
Wow.
You can't separate them. So when people talk to me and they say something that smells, it can make them feel like I'm attacking them as something that smells. No, this thought smells. But if I don't attack what you're saying, then you are going to think it's okay to keep. And after a while, you won't be able to separate yourself from that thought and its outcome.
Mm.
Right. So it's not about, you're not beating the refrigerator up. You just bought the thing, or you love the thing, or you care enough about the refrigerator to clean it out. It's the fact that you're willing to clean it out is how much is a reflection of how important or valuable the refrigerator is or the person is, whether it's our children or our friends or this or that. But if you don't, then you are going to have to figure out how you're going to, or if you want to deal with this thing that smells that way.
Mm. That's so good. That's so good. That analogy was so good.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
I actually it's so crazy that you use the refrigerator.
Okay.
I had an instance like that. Like the the um the power went out in
No.
my refrigerator and I wasn't home for a week. So
Oh,
you can only imagine what that thing was smelling like when I got home.
but you said something so important. What ma- what what caused the smell?
The power going out. Mm, mm. I see what you did there.
See that? Catch what I'm
I
like?
see what you did there.
Yeah, right? The power went out. Like you said, when you start becoming aware that you're thinking something you shouldn't, aren't you aware when you're in your house and the power goes out?
Yes,
Right? But what happens
yes.
if there's no awareness? What if your
Mm.
boss,
I
right?
wasn't home. I wasn't there. I had no awareness.
No
And I
awareness,
come back and it just was thinking, yes. Oh my goodness.
right? So when
Woo.
whether it's you are thinking that and you're aware that the power goes out, you do something to address it because you realize if it goes out too long, you either won't be able to work or you won't be able to blow dry your hair or you won't be able to get hot water or right,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that power affects will be affected. So
Exactly.
do I want to deal with the, I'll say it this way. Do I want to deal with the discomfort of correcting my mind or someone else's that I love enough or care enough about or are important enough to correct? Or do I want to deal with the pain of not doing it?
Mm.
Because if I do it, it may feel a little funny while I'm doing it. But if I don't, it's definitely going to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
So just think about it. What if you didn't come home for 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Mm.
So does just ignoring it fix it?
No, it does not.
Does time heal all wounds?
No, it does not.
Right? It does if you just let it fester in the same state, right? If you change it in time, it can heal. But you have to change it to put it on the path of health, not just close your eyes from it, like we used to do, when we are teenagers and we got that first cell phone bill, and it was like the cell phone bill or the Jordans. Which one do I want to buy? Like, yeah, like we all have, but no, that's not the case. So you're exactly right. You change something as soon as you get back because you see what happens when the power goes out. When your awareness goes out, stuff starts to stink.
Mm,
Stuff starts to fester, and then it starts to metastasize and spread, and then it becomes something that is unable to be separated from you.
mm.
The outcome of that thought is going to be attached to your life. Just like the outcome of that power going out, which then caused the food to rot and spoil, which then started to start to metastasize and spread within the refrigerator. As soon as you open that door, what happened? Boom,
It hit me.
hit
As soon
you.
as I opened
Just,
my house door, it hit me.
right?
It was crazy. I was like, what is that?
Right. You see what I mean? So that
Yeah.
is so important. That's why I say sometimes when people are talking to me, sometimes it's like they feel like they're cursing around their parents, right? They don't want to think they're saying the wrong thing. But I don't, I just like a parent would correct a child in the youthfulness of our minds, sometimes we forget.
Hmm.
Hey, what we say matters because we forget who we really are. And we think we can just say anything haphazardly or just, oh yeah, well, I don't know if I'll get paid today, but hopefully it's like, well, if you don't know, who knows? If you don't fix the power outage when you get back home, who's gonna fix it? You're the only one whose house is smelling, right? If
So
you
true.
who's going to address it?
Mm.
Stuff like that. So no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Great
Yes.
Yep.
slides for you, by the way, Coach.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, happy Saturday, everyone. Sometimes we just go right into it smoking, and that's where we are today. House is on fire already. So it's wonderful. Saturday, Saturday, Saturday. So we're going to start off with a little short reading because today, kind of like we were just talking about now, I start off with certain things to open your mind up, whether it is to something different, to a new way of thinking something, to realizing that something may be available that you don't know, or to show you how what we talk about affects or how to use what we're talking about in life as a lifestyle, not as a sermon or a seminar or a service. This is a way of living. It is a lifestyle. It's a style of living that it for your life, not for one part of it. It doesn't work just in one area or one day or one time, or it doesn't work when you think or doesn't work when you like. It is going on all the time. And your job, just like life, it's going on all the time. Your job is to learn how to live it well. Well, this style of living is going on all the time. Your job is to learn how to use it to your good. I always tell you, there is no such thing as positive thinking. It's just thinking, but, which is true. And also, there is such thing as positive thinking in the sense of there is a way to think positively and purposefully about your desired end, as your desired end, toward and for your desired end. That's positive thinking, meaning to think in your favor, to think about yourself or about something or someone in a way that will represent its physical counterpart, your desired end. My seed represents that tree. My thought represents that physical outcome. The physical outcome is nothing but the physical outcome of the thought that created it. That tree is nothing but the physical outcome of the seed that created it. Just like you don't see a seed in the ground, you just see the tree that comes up. Just like you don't necessarily know where that outcome comes from, but it is the seed that came up. It's the thought that came up. So positive thinking is, in the sense of is just thinking, but it is learning how to think positively. And positively means to think about things the way you want to think about them, to make a decision about what tree you want to see sprout up out of the ground, or what experience you want to have in your life, to think as that person does, as that person would, or about it the way you want to think about it. Right. So that is why we are here. That is why we use the information we use so that we can do that as a skill, meaning in every way, every day of life about any and everything. That is positive thinking, right? It's not just some kind of alternative lifestyle. That's why I say there is no such thing as that, because people promote it as an alternative lifestyle. It's not. It is a style of living that you purposely choose what you want to see, what you want your outcomes to be, instead of saying, si quiere Dios, right? Or si Dios quiere, or if God wills, or if there's all the other stuff, right? All right. So we're gonna get right into it. First slide, please. So whoever can read, who would ever like to read, please let me know, and we will go from there.
I'll read.
Okay.
His goal was to live in a comfortable home, to have a garden with a water fountain, a stockade fence for privacy, and to produce program tapes. With such a small income, he said that he ate a lot of peanut butter crackers and canned soup that heated on a hot plate.
Okay. Stop right there for you. So when we're reading these things, the reason I present this to you is for two reasons. One, for the story, but two, for you to constantly know how to break down information so that you can really understand how something started, for like the beginning, middle, and an end. Almost like watching a movie, being aware of all parts of it so that all parts of it make sense and so that you can get the benefit of the whole. Right? So I want you to see where someone is starting. It's important. It's not just something to gloss over. It's not just something to be like, oh yeah, it's just no, where does this person start? What are they eating? They're eating they're eating peanut butter, crackers, and canned soup. Now, but above that, their goal was to live in a comfortable home, have a garden, and how are you gonna have all that and you eating peanut butter, crackers, and canned soup? So I want you to understand that this person's end, this is where they are when they started thinking about that end. I want you to understand where they are when they started thinking about the end that we will get to. Where were they? So we can't just say the end is the end no, the end is the end, right, of the beginning. So the beginning is just saying, okay, this is their desire. But when they first started desiring something, what were they doing? Eating peanut butter crackers and canned soup on a hot plate. I want us to understand that because we have all these delusions of grandeur that we already have to be the thing we want to be physically in order for it to be true. And you will see that that's not how it works. All right, I'm sorry. Latoya, keep going.
For 5 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days, he was a recluse, devoting all his time composing uplifting phrases and visualizing his goal. I would picture myself waking up to the house and sitting in the backyard by a water fountain, relaxing. Each time I went into meditation, I kept adding things that I would like in my home: original artwork, oriental carpets, a library with books from floor to ceiling, and a circular staircase that would lead me upstairs to a massive bedroom overlooking the Hollywood Hills. And yes, a room upstairs that would be soundproof, stocked with recording equipment and plenty of tapes so I can make self-help tapes covering all subject matters.
And what is he eating currently?
But he's still eating soup and crackers and peanut butter.
Okay, next slide.
One day, a knock on the door brought him out of his reverie and turned out to be the answer to his programming that included everything that he had been visualizing since being on his own. An attorney representing a client that recently died told him he was the sole heir of their estate. The attorney had contacted the radio station for Dr. Murphy's address, as he had no telephone. While he began explaining how all this came about, I sat back, pinching my arm to assure myself I was awake. The woman and I had never met. She was not a member of any church. The attorney told me that she heard me on the radio. In fact, she had written down the messages that I had composed and read daily. I went into the radio station once a week and taped them for later airing. The messages made such an impression on her that she wanted me to continue my work in broadcasting and writing, he explained as he sat chewing on his cigar. Are you ready to see what you just inherited? You are going to be quite surprised. the attorney said as he drove me toward the Hollywood Hills. All I could think about was now I can make tapes that will benefit and uplift the listeners. I was in total shock. Not that my programming had come to fruition, but it took such a short time. Everything I had programmed for had manifested.
Okay.
I almost blew it.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, start the sentence again. That same sentence.
Okay. Everything I had programmed for had manifested.
Okay, stop. Okay. Have you ever, I'm going to say it this way for importance, because like I said, I want us to understand how to read something. Have you ever heard read with expression?
Many times.
Right? So everything that matters. It's not just like everything and I'm not talking about the way you're reading it, but I'm emphasizing the point, right? Everything. Because guess what? This is you. This is me. This is we. This is us. This is us, whether it's a home, your health, your money, whatever else it is, right? And we're going to go back to another slide because I want us to catch something else too. But everything, this has nothing to do with how you're reading, LaToya. I don't mean that. But I'm emphasizing that it's in caps for a reason, right? Because everything, not just some things, not just be happy, not just get what you want, not just a little bit, not just show gratitude, not just be grateful for what you have, not just, you can't have everything. Don't we hear that? Can't get everything, can't have everything, can't always get what you want, but try sometimes, you get what you need. People make a song out of it. But this person got everything. So somebody's lying. We got to figure out who that is, right? But everything, right? Okay, I'm sorry, LaToya. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So everything I had programmed for had manifested. I almost blew it after we entered the home and I saw the circular stairs leading to the second floor and asked, "Is there a soundproof room upstairs?" Intense astonishment touched the attorney's pale face. He asked, "Have you been here before? How did you know there's a recording studio upstairs?" That's been a desire I've had for some time, making tapes of positive affirmations. I found the majority of people have to read or hear something over and over before it sinks in. Listening to tapes repeatedly will help change their mindsets, I explained. Not only did I inherit all of the material goods, there was a clause in the will that took care of the taxes and monthly upkeep of the property. He chuckled with happy memories as he related his story.
Okay, so Vanessa, will you go back 2 or 3 slides?
Oh, un momento. Let me count.
I'll know it when I see it.
Is it
No, not that one. That one. So on where it says as an attorney representing a client, the sentence before that is a very important sentence. LaToya, read where it says had, where it started from had. The right there.
Everything that he had been visualizing since being on his own. That one?
Yes. What's important in there?
Visualization.
Visualizing it.
Had been.
Everything.
Things being everything. Being
See, this is what this
He had it. He already had it.
this is what, huh?
I was saying he already had it. He already had it. He already visualized himself having it, so he already had it.
So on his own. On his own.
Without distractions.
Without anybody else's help. without anybody else's support. What do people tell you? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Isn't that what they tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who did he know?
Nobody.
No one in this
On
case.
his own.
Nobody.
Did he know her?
No.
No.
They said we had never met, right? So how do you get everything from someone you've never met? Everything you wanted from someone you never met. How do you do that?
Go into the silence.
Well, what does that represent in that sentence? What you just said, what does that represent?
On his own.
Visualizing.
Mm-hmm.
Visualizing. But when you're visualizing, who's doing it?
I am.
So you're on your own. So then if you're visualizing on your own and you get everything you want from someone you never met, what does that tell you?
Jeez.
You don't need anybody
I thought
but
you,
you.
but I thought you do. Isn't that what everybody tells you?
What does that have to do with me?
Is that what you say?
Mhm.
Is that what you say? Is that really what we tell ourselves?
No.
So yeah, right. So yeah, and we're saying it this way, that's why I'm always glad you guys say something because I'm bringing it to you. Is that what you tell yourself on Tuesday?
Mm.
You tell, oh yeah, here we're all pumped up. It's all easy when all the like saints are together, right? It's all easy when we're all together, so to speak, and we're pumping each other up and we're feeling good, and everybody, and the lights are good, and you feel good, and everything is good. But what happens when we all leave here, so to speak, and go our separate ways? Is that what you tell yourself?
Mm.
If the answer is no, the question is rhetorical. The answer is no. Most of us do not. Well, so, but it's what is so important is that what's so important is it's not only that we don't tell ourselves that, we tell ourselves something else.
Mm.
We tell ourselves it's not what you know, it's who you know. We tell ourselves if you don't get up and go work for it, you'll never get it. We tell ourselves it takes 2 to 5 years. We tell ourselves, so it's not even that we don't tell ourselves these things, we tell ourselves the opposite things. It's not only that we don't think positively, we think negatively. It's not that we only don't think for our best good or in the direction we want, we think against our best good or against the direction we want. We think in the direction of what we don't want. So it would literally be like you getting in the car and saying, where don't I want to go?
Hmm.
Firing the car up, arriving there, and then being mad about it. And blaming it on everybody else. Well, this is God's will. My back hurt. Well, God will never put more on me. I'll never be more lost than I can find how to get back to. And we just start telling ourselves all kind of craziness. Like this is something that just had to be. So a person eating, in the beginning, this person was eating peanut butter, crackers, and soup. How do you get a mansion in Hollywood Hills? Leonardo DiCaprio lives up there. Kevin Spacey and them live up there. All kind of famous actors that you know, they live up in these same hills.
We don't believe we're enough.
How do you believe? Then what do you believe?
That we have to have all these external things, what people tell us that
Okay.
we need.
So when your kids leave the house, do you want them to listen to you as far as what you told them they are, or to someone else what they told them they are?
I want them to listen to me.
So then why don't you listen about who you're told you are? And if you did listen about who you told you that, if you did listen about who you are told you are, why would you ever believe what anybody else would tell you about A, yourself, and B, what it's going to require for you to get what you want? We would only believe it would require that if we thought we were that. We only believe it takes this based on who we think we are. Because if I'm me and you're you and we want something, we would say like, okay, I'm here, you're in Pennsylvania. So if we both want to get to Florida, we're not going to get there at the same time because we're coming from two different locations. You're closer than I am. There's no way pretty much I'm going to beat you there unless you're walking, right? So based on where we're coming from, what it takes to get to our same desired end are two different things. It's based on where we're coming from. It's based on where we're coming from, who we think we are, what we're telling ourselves we are. So we're telling ourselves things that put us further away from being what we want to be because we think, because we think we're something that we're not. It's first starting with where are you? Meaning, who are you? Where are you physically? Where does it take to get from where you are to Florida, let's say? If you're on the East Coast, it's generally going to be faster than it is if you're on the West Coast. So first, where are you? First, who are you? Who are you? That is your location. That is where everything is starting from. That's how close you are to something, how far you are to something, in awareness, in mind. In your awareness just means you are aware of something happening. So if you're in the house by yourself, when you hear a noise, you're generally more aware of it because you're the only one in the house, so a noise catches your attention more quickly. If you're in a house full of people and you hear 1,000 noises, you're not as aware of noise because there's so many of them going. So awareness just means your conscious awareness of what is going on in your environment. Right? So if someone can start eating peanut butter crackers and soup and end up in a mansion in Hollywood Hills and that had everything that he visualized on his own, then what does that tell you it takes for you to get what you want? What does it take for you to get what you want in your physical hand?
Nothing outside of you. You.
Isn't that all he had?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he said? On his own?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but on his own, who's ever heard this statement? God and I are the majority. If God be for me, who could be against me? If God be for you, what can be against you? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. I'm just giving you, I'm defining the terms of things you read every day and don't know what they mean. If you and God are the majority, and God is I am, and I am is awareness, and I am is essentially your mind that controls your brain, then as long as your mind is right, that is righteousness. Your mind, your right mind, that is the repository, that is the vault that has everything. That then you go in, that you use your brain to go up into to get something, or that uses your brain to deposit something in, like a desire or an idea. That's all you need, because that mind has access to all the resources that to make it physical. All you have to do is use your awareness, start consciously identifying yourself. Where you are all awareness. You're aware that you are awake. You're aware that you are this. You're aware that you're in Pennsylvania or New York or Florida or Atlanta or wherever you are. You're aware that you're somewhere. And if you look around, all you can describe is what you see. So when you are complaining, what you're complaining about what you see. So then where must you be?
In hell.
Hell. Yeah.
Wherever you want to call it, somewhere you can use any word you want, but it ain't heaven, or it's not where, or it's not your mansion in the Hollywood Hills. So him creating that house for himself. What is that called? What should he call himself? That you call yourselves?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
A
right.
manifester.
Say it again.
Manifester.
Okay. What else?
Alchemist.
Okay. No, we're using street words.
Oh.
Those are all cute and sexy, but cute and sexy. Tuesday got traffic, fog, smog, rain, wind, sleet, snow. It's got yes, no, maybe so. It's got
Repeat the question, please.
so when he was eating peanut butters, crackers, and everything else. And he decided that he wanted to have a mansion, or he wanted to have a house. He didn't even decide where it was, but he wanted to have a house, like he described. And then he started there and he ended with that. What is that person called?
Lucky. You mean like on a Tuesday when we're not in class?
What do you call that person?
Oh, he got lucky.
That's not what you call that person.
A dreamer.
That's not what you call that person. That's not what you call them. What do you call this person?
Oh, they out their mind. They're crazy.
Oh, okay. That is what they could call this person. That's an attribute.
Delusional.
Okay, that's an attribute of what people would call this person. But what is that person called? What is the title of that person? You guys use it every day and you can't even see it. You can't even see it. And it's good, it's okay, but this is why we do things the way we do them. Because I want you to understand what these things actually are. This person you would call an entrepreneur. What does the word entrepreneur mean? Anybody know? Does anybody actually know what the word entrepreneur means?
Like a creator?
Is that what it means? Are you guessing? Or are you?
I'm
how
absolutely
do you
guessing.
call yourself something you don't even know what it is? How do you do that?
Stop hating.
I mean, what are we doing? Right? It's somebody basically who it's someone who begins an undertaking. And it is another form of creator, but it's somebody who begins an undertaking. That's the literal definition. It's an old French word. Right? But my point is, we call ourselves things that we don't even know what they mean. So we don't even know whether we're being it or not, or what it looks like. We can't see it in other things of life because we really don't own it. We don't own that definition. We don't own the understanding of what that actually is. It's just someone who begins an undertaking. But someone who begins an undertaking, aren't they called delusional half the time? Aren't they called a dreamer, weird, out of their mind, insane, and everything else? Until it happens, then what are they called? A visionary, right? But what does it say? For lack of vision, my people perish. That is if you want to see an entrepreneur, that's what one looks like. It's someone who can take something from where it is to where they want to be on his own, on her own, on their own. They visualized their end and they got what they visualized. Not what people told them they could have, not what people told them they should settle for, not people told them they should be happy with, not when they're not talking about tariffs. They're not talking about the economy. They're not talking about the weather. Yeah, they're aware of tariffs. They're aware of the economy. They're aware of you're aware. Awareness means you're aware. That is true, where you're aware, but that does not mean you're subject to. It doesn't mean that you're enslaved by. It doesn't mean that that is something that you are now under the thumb of. You're not, so you're aware. You're not closing your eye to it or denying its existence. You're saying that nothing I created is greater than the creator. You don't ever bow your knee, your tongue, or your mind to something that's created when you are the creator, when you are the entrepreneur. How is the cash register supposed to work itself? How is the business supposed to open its own doors? How is the business supposed to name itself? How is your life supposed to be anything you don't make it? And why would you worship anything that you created? Does anybody walk in and they're on one knee, get on one knee in front of the cash register? Get on one knee in front of the front door and be like, thank you, front door. And I just need you. Come on, cash register. I just need you to, just, why would you be on one knee in front of anything that was created? Why would you do that? The economy, that's created. Why would you be on one knee? Tariffs, those are created. Why would you be on one knee? COVID, that was created. Why would you think that? Why would you be on one knee? Why would you be on one knee to anything that was created when you are the creator? And how do you know? Did he create something for himself? You thinking it's got to be God. It's got to be Allah, Buddha, Jesus. It's got to be all these other things. How? When his name was Joseph. Didn't he create? Didn't he get what he wanted? Latoya, what was the key word in the sentence that you had to read over and over? What was it?
Oh, I don't remember. My memory's not that good.
Now, why would you say that?
Everything.
And why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? That's why we're here. Why would you say that? Who are you believing yourself to be to say that? Now, what do you always say? On purpose. Well, guess what? You say that because you choose everything on purpose. Well, guess what you just chose on purpose? Why would you say that? What is one of I am's attributes?
Creator.
Okay, what else?
All knowing.
All knowing. So if you know everything, how could you forget? Do you think what people call God, you think God forgets?
No.
No. So then how could your memory not be that good? It can't be both.
Mm.
The things we say. And like I said earlier, this is not to get on you, but it's to make a point. Look at how flippant we are with our power. It's like a kid playing with matches, and you wonder why the house burns down.
That was me last night with I can't afford it. Yeah.
And she'll tell you how that went.
Oh my God. Yeah. I got it yesterday. Real good.
Right? But if you're like that, and that's kind of why I was saying that to Rita earlier. Sometimes people think because when you say something that and it's not correct and you correct them that you're browbeating them personally. No, you're not. You are browbeating that incorrectness out to keep it out. No. We're not going to do that because the outcome of that is something you don't want. Then I got to fix that later. Then I got to fix what happens when you really can't afford it. Then I got to fix what happens when you really don't have a good memory. Do you know what people who don't really have a good memory is? You know, that's called Alzheimer's. That's what you want? See, we think when we say things, we think we can control the outcome of it. Oh, yeah, but I was just, no. Doesn't work like that. Your awareness is going to find, right? Going to find the best way to accentuate or effectuate that which you are believing yourself to be. So if you believe you don't have a good memory, well, okay, good luck with that. So when you forget your purse at home, then who's mad? When you forget your keys, then who's mad? When you forget to call somebody back, then who's mad? But we don't realize that we plant these little seeds, and when they grow up, we don't recognize them because we say things so flippantly. But that's what we do here. To Latoya's point is we live here on purpose. That's what I mean when I say there's no positive thinking. It is just thinking. But look at how we think against ourselves. So people present positive thinking like it's an alternative lifestyle. But it is. It isn't, but it is. Because it's alternative to the way most people think. But it's not an alternative lifestyle like it's some kind of weird thing. It is learning how to think on purpose for your good, about your good, the way you want things to be, the way you want to be, and you can have peanut butter cans of soup and crackers and still get a mansion. People tell you what, did he ask all the questions? Did he have a job? Well, maybe he should get a job. Well, maybe he should. What happened to all that? Did he get a job to get the mansion?
Nope.
No. Did he know somebody to get the mansion?
Nope.
Did he know her?
No.
No.
Did she know him?
No.
Did he even? So then how did he get what he wanted?
Closed his eyes.
That's what the people of the Bible, that's what they're telling you. We're getting confused on all these terms. We're getting confused about it's a book and something else. Have you ever noticed if you put the Bible down, it's still there when you get there? Have you noticed it doesn't float in the air? Has anybody ever noticed that? Does anybody know I've seen people put a cup on it. And do you know the cup didn't fall? It didn't burn up. Did you know that? My point is that we're taking things and we don't really understand what they mean. So then we don't understand what we mean. So we just say everything largely that we don't really mean. But we don't hardly say anything that we do mean. Not to our good. We say everything we don't mean and mean it. I don't want this to happen, but I can't afford it. But I'm sure going to say it. Oh, but it doesn't matter. But you made every effort to say it. You made every effort to say it, but it doesn't matter. Well, how come you don't make every effort to say this then? Oh, well, I can't say that, but you can say this. But I don't. But I don't want that. Then why are you saying it? But I want this, but I can't say that. Well, then guess what that means? You can't have it. That's what it means. What if he sat there and said to himself, well, I'm eating beans, I'm eating peanut butter, crackers, and soup on a hot plate. What if he would have told one of you, one of us, or hell, even worse, anyone outside of us, that I want a mansion with a sound studio, a water fountain, and everything else, while he's heating up his soup and eating his peanut butter and crackers? What do you think the world is going to say?
Yeah, man, you need a straight jacket.
So then why do you tell them?
A loquito.
So why do you tell them your business then? What do you think they're going to say?
Hmm.
What do you think they're going to say? What should they say? That's the way they operate. They operate from the limitation of that human experience right now. But how could you have that vision? Then how can you have that vision if you're only eating peanut butter, crackers, and soup? How do you get that vision? Then where does it come from? How do you get that?
He.
How do you get it?
Oh.
Your awareness.
What does that mean?
You choose it.
You choose it. And what did you choose? I can't afford it. So then guess what? You're going to stay right where you are. I got a bad memory. You're going to stay right where you are. If you think as limited as the human body is, you will remain as limited as the human body is. Your visualization, your imagination, your awareness is unlimited. That's why even though you're eating soup, crackers, and peanut butter, you can imagine something bigger. Even though you feel like, I look in your bank account, you're like, man, I don't know if I want to spend that. And I want, okay. But why don't you go with your mind instead of your account? Your account, you don't have to go into your account and pull it out. Why don't you go into your mind and assume you are something? That will do it for you. He didn't know the lady. He didn't have the house. He couldn't pay for it. Why do you think it had to be given to him? I know what you have need of even before you ask. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Everything is your awarenesses. Everything is your minds. But you'll use your mind against you instead of for you. You'll tell yourself all the reasons you can't do it instead of all you have to tell yourself is one thing. There's only one thing, that's mine. But you know what? But you'd rather work harder and tell yourself all the 100 things that is reasons it's not. Every time you think about it, yeah, that's mine. That's me. Every time you think about it, oh man, I can't do it. Oh man, it's some bull. Man, I just can't. I sure hope this. You know how long that takes when you could have spent 1 second over here and you're going to spend 5 minutes over here telling yourself what you can't do, why you can't have it. It's not realistic. I'm just being real. This is just reality. I'm just facing the truth. I'm just facing the truth. Well,
I have a question.
What is I am?
I have a question when you're done.
Okay, what is I am?
Awareness, consciousness.
Nope. You're just keeping it real. It's reality. You're just doing all these things. And I'm just telling the truth. I'm just facing the truth. I'm just facing reality. Okay, well, what is I am?
Choosing.
I am.
I am what? Does it say I am the truth?
What do you mean?
Doesn't it say I am the truth?
Mhm.
Yes.
What do you mean it?
I am the way. I
Yeah.
am the life. Isn't that?
Yes. Yes.
So how could you just be telling the truth and I am is the truth? So then what you're saying then is just true for you, but it's not the truth. But since it's true for you, you make it the truth. It becomes, you set up your own jail that you live in. You become the victim of your own limitation because you're unwilling to use I am, which is the truth, as the way to the life you want. I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. I am not the way, I'm not the truth, so there ain't no life of whatever that is. I can't afford it. Whatever that is, there is no way, there's no life, and there's no truth. There's no way to have that experience. So at least you don't have to worry about it. I got a bad memory. You don't have to worry about remembering anything. I hope you got a whole lot of Post-its. Then you got to remember to read that. You better make sure you put it on your forehead or in your front. What are we doing to ourselves? Question. Yes, Vanessa.
Can you speak to us and to me again about how to shake the feeling part? Because it's easy to say, okay, then yeah, I could afford it. Yes.
Mhm.
It's easier to say it in out loud, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, fighting that feeling though, because it's a combination of both, not just choosing, but if you're feeling broke, for lack of better words, if you're feeling the opposite of what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
you're still kind of stuck, right, in that limbo.
Mm-hmm. That is only because you're most familiar with that feeling. And until you replace it with something else, that's all you can feel. You want to feel in 1 second what you've been feeling for, let's say, 10 minutes. How? How is that going to happen? And since we think we've been feeling it for 10 minutes, we then tell ourselves, well, that's just the way it is. I'm just telling it that way. Yeah, but you'll never feel anything else until you start telling yourself something else. When there was darkness, I am said, let there be light. But the only way I am could see the light was by first saying it. The only way you can have a new experience is if you're willing to tell yourself something new. But how can you see something new before you're willing to tell yourself that? How can you ever see it? If it never comes out of your mouth, how can you ever see it if you're unwilling to entertain it? How can you get a new experience if we're saying, well, I'm in the experience that I don't like. So I'm in it so deep that I won't talk to myself about the new experience that I want. And so we're saying, and the reason we do that is because we justify how much we feel the one we don't want in order for us to not start being willing, or in order for us to not be willing to entertain the new one. I'm in this job I hate so much that I won't look for a new one. How does that sound? Right? That's essentially what we're doing. We're in this thing we don't like so much that we won't look for a new one. We're in this feeling that we've had for so long that we're unwilling to entertain. We use that as justification, not like an excuse we mean, but it's still an excuse because it's not the truth. There's not a reason to do that. There's an excuse to do it, but there's not a reason. Excuses are like lies. They enslave. They never change. They never fix. They never lead you to the promised land. A reason is a conduit, is a way to say, it is reasonable to say, let there be. It is reasonable to say, I can choose something different. Right? So it's not about shaking that feeling before you said it, because deciding is not a feeling. Deciding is a choice. Deciding is, I am choosing. Haven't you gone to work and didn't feel like it? What did your feelings have to do with where you ended up? Only your decision had to do with it. Now, you can feel any way about it you want, but if you keep that decision, you will end up wherever you decided to go. And the closer you get to wherever you decide to go, the more of that area, that environment you'll see. And the more of it you see, the more of it you'll feel. You'll feel the sights, the sounds, the smells, those things come. But what we're using as feeling, we're using as proof. Right now, we use it as proof to remain that we are what we are. Well, what is crackers, peanut butter, and soup? You don't think he felt that? You don't think he was aware of what do you think? He thought he was eating filet mignon? Did he describe something else? Do you think that soup smelled like? No, it smelled like whatever you can warm up on a hot plate. Peanut butter tasted just like peanut butter. Crackers tasted just like crackers. Yet he decided, I want a soundproof room with a spiral staircase, with a this, with a that. That is an entrepreneur. Remember how you and I always talk about most people aren't entrepreneurs? Yeah. In this moment, when you said that, you're not an entrepreneur. You're an employee. You're waiting for somebody else to change it for you. But then you don't get paid the big bucks. You don't have no say. You don't have no control. You just have to sit there and wait to be told what to do. And you can get fired, laid off, like all the people that got laid off at Starbucks. Anybody seen that lately? All the tens of thousands of people that got laid off. Anybody seen that? Heard about it?
No, no.
No,
Have
I
not.
stay away from that kind of information.
Oh, I do too, but I saw it. I stay away from cigarettes. Right? And there's all kind of people got laid off from Starbucks. Yeah, when you're an employee, you don't have no say. If you're not an entrepreneur of your life, then who is saying? You're letting everyone else say for you. You're letting your bank account say for you, letting the weather say for you, letting the president say for you, you're letting this say for you. That's it. Everybody gets a say. And you got to live it. That's what an entrepreneur is. When you say let there be light, what's the difference between let there be light and let there be pixelnomics? What's the difference? What?
There isn't.
Okay, so that means you are the creator. Well, how can you be the creator if you don't have that creative aspect? And if you can create that, then how come you can't create that? The same creator that created light created dark, created animals, created trees, created the sun and the moon, right? Created everything. So that means if you can create pixelnamics, you can create what?
Everything.
Anything.
And anything, everything. And when you created pixelnamics, did you have it before you created it?
No.
No. So then why do you got to have that before you create it? What?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? We're picking and choosing. That is why that's why I jumped on Latoya. How do you create everything with purpose and then say that?
Yeah.
When you know how important purpose is. Because we go, that's why I say it's a lifestyle. We keep going in and out when it matters, when it counts, what it matters to, what it doesn't get. Yeah, I'm gonna say it this way. Oh, God is good when I'm in church, and it's all hell when I get out. Oh, God's gonna take care of my bills, but this leg, God just wants me God is to make me a better person. We pick and choose when we're the creator. We pick and choose when we're an entrepreneur. And Veronica and I talk about it all the time. Most people are not entrepreneurs. Do you know what most people are? They are default entrepreneurs because what they really are is three things: unemployed, underemployed. I'm not even spelling it right because I don't care. And unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable. That's what they are. So by default, nobody's gonna hire you. You can't get a job or keep a job. So now you got to strike out on your own. So then you come up with this word called entrepreneur that everybody says, but most people don't know what they are, what it is. That's why I asked you that story. What do you call it? Did anybody at all think he was an entrepreneur? When I asked you what he did and what to call that, did anybody think that?
No, I
Absolutely
didn't.
not.
No.
No. But isn't that what an entrepreneur does? It endeavors in an undertaking on your own. You use other people, but they're doing what you want them to do. You're still on your own. It's still your vision. That's what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is somebody who starts with nothing and makes it something. Meaning they're not starting with the thing that's there now. It's not in their hands when they start here. But where is it?
In their
In their
mind.
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 You need a new marker.
Afford it. When you say I can't afford it, you started right here in your mind. How are you going to get to the place that does?
Right.
They have a bad memory. Where does that start? In your mind. Where do you think it's going to lead you?
We can't really see the marker very well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And Monique had her hand up. Monique had
Yeah.
her hand up.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I wasn't gonna talk. It's never a coincidence when you teach on Saturdays. Last night, literally before I went to sleep, I needed words to stop saying if I make a course, nobody's gonna show up. Like I kept repeating that, and so I was like, "Stop saying that!" Like I literally yelled out loud to myself. So then I went to chat and I said, "This is what I want to do. This is what I'm saying. How can I change my words? Like, am I lying to myself if I say I have 10 clients signed up for my course?" So me and Chat had a conversation
Mhm.
And Chad said it's no different than the person who plants a seed. They don't call it a seed, they call it a tree. It's already a tree when you plant it. So instead of saying I have 10 clients, I can say I'm holding space for 10 women and I'm so happy for the women who are coming to yada 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 yada. So that got me out of the space of panic or worry, I guess. And I went to sleep with a beautiful mind, I guess. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just wanted to share that.
yes. Because in that moment, your awareness, right? Your mind, right? What you are acutely aware of in your environment, what were you describing?
At first, I was describing how I felt or my fear.
Okay, so your feelings, which were being pronounced as fear.
Hmm.
What else?
Anxiety, worry,
Okay. I'm sorry, what else?
worry.
Worry. So watch this. When you're driving down the street in a car and you're looking out the window and somebody says, what do you see? What are you looking at? When you start describing something, what are you describing?
What's ahead? What I see.
What you see based on,
My awareness, my eyes.
yes, which are based on,
What I know, what I see. I'm looking
which
out the window.
which is based on,
My awareness.
which is based on
Uh,
where,
where I am.
say it again,
Where I am.
say it again.
Where I am.
I am is where. I am is where. I am is in worry. I am is in anxiety, and I am is in fear. I am is in her feelings. So wherever I am is all you see. That is why it's all you could say. And when you got on chat, what you were looking for is a change of environment. You're looking to move your awareness to something so it can start describing something else. So really what you're doing is you're saying, okay, let me move my awareness from, you're only describing where you are in mind. You don't realize that you're describing where you are. You're describing where your awareness is. You're describing where your I amness is. You're describing where your mind is. Your mind is an environment of fear, anxiety, and worry. So if that's where your mind is, where do you think your body is going to be?
Right there.
Right there with it. So how do you know? Because your body expresses it. Your
Hmm.
mind and your body are one. Your mind and your life are one. Your body is just a physical thing, just like your life is a physical thing. Your mind and your life, your mind and your body, your mind and all physical things are one. Whatever's going on in your mind must be expressed in your life, whether it's your body, your money, your health, your relationships, your business, whatever else it is.
Wow.
So then what is the trick? What is the goal? It is to move your awareness like you did. You just use chat to do it. But you can
Hmm.
use whatever it takes. Use whatever it takes to move your awareness. Change your mind. Start telling yourself, okay, fear, anxiety, worry. Okay, let me draw a line. I haven't been given the spirit of fear. I have power. Anxiety, I have peace. Worry, I have joy. And then you start telling yourself these things over. You move your awareness to different things. So you move your awareness from I can't afford it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's letting you know where you are. You're describing what you're looking at from out the window. A lot of times you just don't realize where you are. You don't realize when you say things, you are saying where you are in your mind. But where you are in your mind, like you said, you're seeing with your eyes. Your eyes are a part of what?
My body.
Your body. And your body is a physical thing or a part of a physical thing called what?
Reality.
Reality, human reality, called
Right.
life. So if your eyes are describing something, it's describing your life. And if you're unwilling to change your mind, how can you change your life?
Impossible.
You're fighting against nature. You're fighting against the laws of the universe. You can't do that. When 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 it was darkness and 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 the mind said, "Let there be light." We call that being the creator. That this is the entrepreneur. It's the same thing. But these people, when you're an entrepreneur, what's an entrepreneur's slogan? I'm going to say it this way. An entrepreneur's slogan should be what? What would be a good slogan for an entrepreneur?
I create.
Okay, because you're the creator. All right. What's another one?
Is there a new marker?
I'm just really talking to me. I'm not. I'm just writing while I'm talking. It's not for you guys, really. What is it? But I'll try.
Yes, please. And let me know if I need to buy more.
What is it?
Ask that question again. I'm sorry.
What would be a good slogan for entrepreneur?
Okay, yeah.
Not you personally, but the title of entrepreneur. Feel like Kevin Samuels, you can make it up. On your own. You are on your own. You are on your own. But guess what? You and God are the majority. So you already won. You're already winning. You're on your own. You and your mind are the majority. You and your mind are the creator. Isn't that what an entrepreneur is? When the creator said, "Let there be light," what is in between that and "Let there be pixelnamics"? Let there be this or Bearcat body. What's the difference?
None.
There's literally none. But the creator, how many creators are there?
8 billion.
No, how many creators that create from the beginning of time? How many creators are? How many awareness?
One.
Is what?
One.
One. So the creator is?
One.
Creator is?
I am.
Creator is?
An entrepreneur.
On your
On his
own.
own.
Its own. How many people said, "Let there be light"?
One.
How many people clapped?
One.
How many people said that it was good and very good?
One.
Did anybody object?
No, there
No.
was nobody there.
Right. So then the creator is?
On his own.
On his own. You are on your own. What did he say? What did he say in the thing? I visualized. What did it say?
On my own.
He visualized the
Everything.
the things he described, yeah.
That when he was on his own.
On his own. When he was on his own. Who else was where he was?
No one.
No one.
Who else came up with the idea?
No one.
Who else got the inheritance?
No one. It was all his.
All his. So it's all your own. You're on your own. So when you say I have no memory, where else you gonna get one? Who you gonna borrow it from? You're on your own. If you can't afford it, guess what? You're on your own. If you are anything you don't want to be, you're on your own. If you're anything you do want to be, you're on your own. You are the only creator. You're the only entrepreneur. You're the only one. There is no other entrepreneur. You're on your own. But Veronica and I talk about all the time. Most people are not entrepreneurs. They don't know how to be that. They're just defaulting to that because they're unemployed, underemployed, or unemployable. So they just default. Well, I guess I got to figure it out for myself. Yeah, but if that's really what you want to do, you probably would have been doing it. And even if you started now, that's fine. But the reason you got there is the reason why this won't work for you. Generally. How are you going to be more responsible to yourself and you're irresponsible, period? How are you gonna add more to it? How are you gonna be an entrepreneur with a bad memory? How are you gonna be an entrepreneur and you can't afford it? You can't afford to not afford it. You're an entrepreneur. You can't afford to be like everyone else. You can't afford it. You can't afford to be like everyone else. Just like Sarita was talking about earlier, you learn like, hey, if the power goes out, your stuff is going to stink. If the power goes out in your house and all the food in your refrigerator spoils, what do you think is going to happen?
All going bad.
And the longer you're gone, the worse it is, right?
Right.
Well,
Absolutely.
if your power goes out, if you forget who you are and you say you can't afford it, how long should I let you stay that way?
You didn't let me stay there at
Because I
all.
want to smell that.
Stop.
I don't want to smell this all the stuff in the refrigerator is about to go bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sit here and look at a life that's about to go bad. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to sit here and look at you and you can't remember something. I
Hilarious.
don't want to sit there and I don't want that. I don't want to do that. Hey, I'm not mad at you that you forget this moment. We all do. It's not a judgment or a criticism, but guess what is going to judge us and criticize us? The smell in the refrigerator. And that's not something we can argue with. That's not something that we can change its mind. I got to change your mind so it don't stink. I got to change your mind like, hey, the power's out. Don't just sit there twiddling your thumbs. Get the power back on. Call somebody. We can't afford for the power to be out too long. Stuff starts happening.
Help.
All
Yeah.
of us are entrepreneurs, whether we want to be or not. But most people aren't actually doing the things it takes to be a successful one, just a failing one. You come in this world on your own, right? You in that box at the end on your own, right? You're an entrepreneur. You've been one. You came in as one. You're one right now, and you're going out as one. So if you can't afford it, who's supposed to do it? If you can't remember, who's supposed to do it? If this happens, who's supposed to fix it? If you can't be this, who's supposed to do it? If he didn't dream that house up, who was going to give it to him? How was he going to get it? If he didn't give it to himself, who was going to give it to him? If you don't give yourself your desire, who's going to give it to you? If the creator didn't say, let there be light, who else is supposed to do it? You're the creator. Can you imagine if the creator said it was dark and the creator said, the creator never put more on me than I can bear? What would that sound like?
A cop out.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because you're not looking inward at what you can do for self. Once again, looking outward. You're going to sit there and wait for the creator to say, okay, you can walk today, instead of seeing and believing it for yourself.
Well, why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because I am.
Yes. So why would you say that? Then why would you say those things then?
Because that's how it comes about. That's
Well,
how it
why
happens.
make that statement that God will never put more on me or this? Why?
Because it's like learned behavior that has to be unlearned.
So if the creator looked around and saw it was dark and wanted there to be light, but said, well, I guess God doesn't want me to have light, what's wrong with that?
Everything. If he's God,
What?
everything is wrong with that.
Why?
Because who the hell is going to make the light except for me?
Correct. So who do you think is going to bring 10 clients except for you?
Oh, shoot.
Who do you think is going to make that? Oh, you know what? But here it is. Here it is.
That was awesome.
Uh-huh.
I know the group you're in. I know who's going to do it. Your social media campaign. Oh, I know who's going to do it. Your profile.
My web designer.
Your degree. Oh, I know who's going to do it. Oh, but all of those things aren't you. Ain't none of them, in my best English, ain't none of them you. Those are all yours. But they're going according to you, but they're not you, but they're going according to you. So if you are sitting around in fear, anxiety, and worry, you are believing yourself to be I am, just I am not. But that is I am too.
Mm.
And you're saying, let there be not. That's what you're saying. You're saying, let there be not. And how do you know you're saying that? Because you're worried about, I'm going to say it this way, you're concerned about your feelings, but you don't realize you already have the feelings. Where do you think fear, anxiety, and worry, what do you think that's feeling? It's feeling, I am not. These feelings don't come before awareness. Awareness creates feeling. How many dead people are in a bad mood?
None.
None.
How many dead people are happy?
None.
None.
So to be either one of them, you must first be what?
Aware.
So then alive, right?
Alive.
Aware,
Yeah.
alive. So then what do you think is picking happiness or sadness?
My awareness.
Correct. And whose awareness?
Mine.
So you mean to tell me you can't control yourself? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You did control yourself because you said, you know what? No, I'm not thinking properly. So let me go and get me some help. Yeah, you created the help too. That's fine. You did what you need to do to get yourself back on track. There's nothing wrong with that. That's right. I'm just showing you how you get there. I'm just showing you what you're really saying when you say I can't afford it. I'm showing you the gravity of what you're saying. If the creator, it was dark and it wanted to have light and it said I can't afford it, what would happen?
It will be darkness.
For how
Still,
long?
until he changed his mind.
So guess how long you ain't gonna be able to afford it. Guess how long your memory gonna be bad. Guess how long you ain't gonna have 10 clients. Guess how long you're gonna go until you get light. Monique, how long?
Until I changed my mind.
Yeah, your mind, because this is about you. You're the only creator. You're the only one there to say, let there be. You're the only one there's literally no one else to change it. That's what I'm trying to impress upon you. That's why I'm on you so hard, because it's not like you can pass the buck to someone else. If I am didn't say, let there be light, who else was there? Who? Who was there?
Nobody. No one.
Nobody. That's why I'm on you. If you don't say it, nobody's going to say it. If you don't change your mind, it can't change. There's no one else to change it. This is not about you being less than someone else. This is not like, fine, Monique, you can't grow up yet. I'm gonna let Brenda do it. There is no Brenda. There's just Monique without. There's just Veronica without. There's just Lucky without. There's Sarita without. There's just Karen without. There is no one else to replace you. That's why I'm on you so tough. Because if there was somebody else to do it, then you just get them to do it. I don't feel like washing my car. So I take it to the car wash. But what if there was no car wash? What?
You can create one.
Well, what if there isn't a car wash?
You create it.
Then what?
You have a
Then
car
you gotta
wash to
wash.
wash your car.
Then I got to wash the car, let's say. Right? But what if I say, well, I can't wash the car because what happens to the car?
It stays dirty.
What happens if I say, well, I'm too broke to wash it? Then what?
Oh my.
Well, then what?
Same thing. It
Oh,
won't happen.
what happened? Well, what if I'm a woman? Then what?
Same
What if
consequence.
I'm black? Then what?
Same consequence.
What if I'm a Republican? Then what?
You screwed.
Then what if there's tariffs? Then what?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So then why do you keep telling yourself stuff that don't even matter? Why do you come to me and try to convince me that what you're saying really matters? Why do we do that? Because only somebody who doesn't know better is going to allow you to think that what you're saying actually matters. And I'm not one of those people. And you shouldn't be either. To say I have a bad memory, what are you talking about? To say I can't afford it, what are you talking about? To say there's this or that or I can't, guess what? Your car's going to stay dirty. Your life is going to stay as it is. You can make all the reasons up that humanity in its ignorance will literally reward you for, celebrate you for, praise you for. They'll buy you a cup of coffee over it. They'll create a support group. They'll get somebody to hold you accountable. They'll do all this stuff. And guess what that means? Your car's still dirty. Ain't nothing changed. But you feel better for a couple minutes. And to the people that were hugging you, say, girl, I got to go. Then what you got? What happens? What do you have when they all leave?
Nada.
A dirty,
Just yourself.
the same thing. Yep. You and your dirty car, the same thing that you had before they came is the same thing you have when they leave. So why do you spend all your time conjuring up all these excuses to sell to somebody else, like the person who's buying it can really help you? The only person who ain't gonna buy it is really the only person that can help you. And the only way they can help you is like somebody like me saying, stop the cap, knock it off, look in the mirror, remember who you are, straighten up, stand up straight, act like you got some home training, act like you know what we've talked about, act like you know who you are. Don't go out here touching stuff. Don't go out here letting people tell you you're somebody else. Don't go out here playing around. Don't let somebody tell you you're different than what the person who loves you told you you are. Why are you going out letting everybody else tell you you're something you're not? And believe it and wonder why your life sucks. And then wonder why you say stuff like, I can't afford it. Or my memory is not good. Or my leg. Or, I can't this or that. If you can't, who can? If it's dark and I am said, hey man, I'd like to be light. Well, go ahead, say it. Say it. Man, you know what, man? This asthma got me out here bad. So I can't really. Well, if you can't, who can? If you can't fix it, who can? I am the Lord that healeth thee. That's what it says. So if you can't do it, who's gonna do it? Well, I got asthma. Well, fix it. Start telling yourself you're healthy. I am the law. I am. Your awareness is the law. Your awareness is the law that is governing all of your physical experience. What you're telling yourself, what you are using your brain to repeat over and over is being governed. That is what you're describing is where you are. And where you are is because of who you are, who you think you are. Who do you think you are to say, I can't remember, and your true nature is omniscience? Who do you think you are, and the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and you say, I can't afford it? Who do you think you are when you say that? Who are you identifying yourself as? Who are you identifying yourself with? Whatever you're identifying yourself as and with, that is what your physical experience is going to be. That's what you're describing. That's where you are. If you're not an entrepreneur, if you don't understand that you're on your own and act like it, so that you say, if I'm on my own, what does that mean? That means whatever I can think, I can have. Whatever I'm thinking, I am having. If I don't change my mind, nothing will change. If I like what I have, don't change my mind. If I don't, change it quick. If I want to change it from one thing to another, I can go from darkness to light. If you want to change from being broke to being a millionaire, who's going to tell you can't? If you want to go from eating peanut butter, cracker, and soup and living in a little rented room, which is what he was living in, I just gave you part of the story, to having a house in Hollywood Hills with your own soundproof room and a spiral staircase and a water fountain. I mean, what nerve? That's a nerve, ain't it? To do that? But see, you guys we're not thinking about all the things. Being an entrepreneur, one of the things it takes to be an entrepreneur is courage. It's courage. Because why? You're on your own, right? One of the things it takes to be a creator of your reality is courage. Courage isn't comfortable. Courage isn't convenient. Courage is called courage for a reason. It means let there be light when it's dark. let there be a soundproof room with a spiral staircase and a water fountain and all that other stuff while I'm eating peanut butter, crackers, and soup. That's courage. It's not feelings. It's a state of mind. It's courage. It's not your feelings. Your feelings follow. They're not in front. Meaning, the more aware you become of something, the more you feel about it. Just like when you're in a relationship, the more you become aware of the person you're in a relationship, the more the greater your relationship becomes, the more you feel about it and that person. Does that make sense? Do you feel about them the same way 100 days later as you did the first day? How are you supposed to feel the first day? It's not going to feel the same way. So when you are changing your mind from being single, that is a state of feelings, to having a relationship, that's a different state of feelings. So you start from single, and then as you get in to meet a person, you start to move away from the feelings of single, more into the feelings of relationship. That's all it is. So yes, you have feelings currently of I can't afford it. Feelings currently of my mind. Feelings currently of I'm broke. Feelings currently of I'm sick. But those feelings are only reflections of your awareness. So the first thing you have to do is change your awareness. The awareness will change the feelings. You're trying to change your feelings before you are willing to accept a new awareness. It doesn't work like that. That's like saying, "Oh, I met you. Let's get married today." You'd be like, I'm not aware of you enough to feel enough to make that move." Yeah, not on the first day generally, right? But the longer you become aware of that person, the more your feelings for that person grows. Then something that was always possible becomes possible because you've done it long enough. But if you are saying, well, since I don't feel like that, I can't choose that, then you'll never get the outcome of what you want to feel because you can't do that without awareness. Only awareness makes you whatever it is. So you want to be the person who can't afford it. So you move your awareness. Okay, I understand awareness is just a decision. I'm just changing my mind. I'm choosing to change my mind. I'm choosing to tell myself something else. So now I'm going to start telling myself, let there be light. But let there be light started when it was dark. Let there be a mansion started with peanut butter, crackers, and soup. So if you are stuck on where you are and the feelings about where you are, if you let that dominate you, you're not an entrepreneur. You're an employee. And you're going to be dominated by something greater than you. In this case, it may be your feelings. In another case, it may be your health. In another case, it may be your money. But you're always going to be driven and told what to do by something else. And you have no say, no control or anything. So then you're like the Starbucks employees, and now there's thousands of you, tens of thousands of you unemployed. When you get off, look it up. Just to prove the point. Just to prove the point. That's one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur. You feel like you get to have a say in your world and you get to do something you want to do, right? But that freedom ain't free. There's a responsibility that comes with that. You're the one that has to dictate your own schedule. You're the one that has to get up. You're the one that has to do this and that. You have to, you're on your own. You may use other things, but those things are still being guided and governed by your awareness. You're using them because of your plan, right? Because of what you choose to be. He used her. I am consciousness used the person praying and the end result of that prayer. So this is I am, the Joseph Murphy who wanted it. The lady who have it is also I am. You don't think I am knows each other? The physical bodies don't, but consciousness does. So when this consciousness said I am this thing, it went out and said, where is the best? Oh yeah, here we go. And so it came right back in physical form. The idea went out, came right back in physical form. The two people never had to meet each other. So then why is it who you know? Well, it is who you know, but who you need to know is you. You need to know that you are. You need to know I am. You need to know I am. That's who you need to know. And how do you know it? Well, you know yourself, you know I am as the physical version you want to see. I am rich. That is you knowing yourself as that's who you need to know. You need to know yourself as that. You need to know yourself as that, as your desire. That's who you need to know. When you know yourself as your desire, then your awareness says, this is who we are, and says, okay, let's bring this into physical form. When you know yourself as not your desire, you never have to worry about it. You don't ever have to worry about it happening. You don't need to be afraid of it. I don't know what you're worried, fear, and anxious and worried about. It ain't gonna happen. So you don't have to worry about it happening. But you're I am not. So then you don't mind that it's not happening, because that's the only outcome of I am not, is it ain't. Things are as you are. The things that are created. You are the creator of those things. So however you are, they are. That's why you never bow your knee to anything that's created. You don't bow your knee to the weather, to the economy, to your bank account, to your health. You don't bow. I am. The creator didn't bow his knee to darkness. It said, let there be light. You don't bow your knee to anything. You say something else. But if you don't say something else, guess what you're going to do? You're going to bow your knee. You're going to bow your knee. I showed you this story because I want you to understand. That's why I said, don't gloss over everything. 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 You can have everything. If you know yourself to be, you have to know you. It's about you. Whoever you know yourself to be, that is what you call reality. That is what is being expressed to you in physical form. Who you know yourself to be. There is no other person to blame it on. There's no one else to love it or hate it, help you or congratulate you, criticize you or support you. I am, let there be light. I am is the creator. The creator is the entrepreneur. The slogan of both is on your own. So if you're unwilling to say it for whatever reasons that you come up with, you're on your own. There's no one going to be able to help you. When you are on your own and you say, I am not, that's what's going to remain. There's no one to take you out of that. There's no one else to say, let there be light. There's no one else to do it. So you're in darkness. You remain as you are. And how do you know you don't like it? Because all the feelings that are associated with I am not, fear, anxiety, and worry, those are the feelings that are associated with I am not. That's how you know where you are. Your feelings are letting you know where your awareness is. And so you have to start changing your awareness before the feelings will change. No, dead people have feelings. So your feelings have to be after life. Well, what is life? Awareness, consciousness. So then that means your feelings can only be coming from your consciousness, right? Where else could they be coming from? Now they can be given to you from someone else, but you still accepted them. Your body is eating what you made or somebody else gave you but either way it goes, you're eating it. Your consciousness is only using the thoughts that you are either creating or that you're accepting that someone else created. But your feelings are only feeling about a thought. Your feelings don't come before it. But when you become aware of something new, you can have a feeling like, ooh, I want a cinnamon roll. Well, the feelings like, oh yeah. But that comes after the awareness of a cinnamon roll. Awareness always comes first. So the feelings are only letting you know where your awareness is. If you want to change how you feel, change your awareness. Start telling yourself, oh, okay, I want to be aware of this. So now every time I think of this. I think of this way. I always have more than enough. 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 You have to get used to that as much as you've been used to the other things. The one is not more powerful than the other. It's just that it feels that way, whichever one is repeated the most, whichever one we've held or hold the most. That's all it is. That's all it is. Right? But a lot of times, a lot of the things that we are trying to change, we've held so long. And we just didn't realize that we've been thinking this for a long time, but we don't really realize it. It's almost like you ever like walked in your house and saw a spider, like a little small spider or something, or a little fly or something. Like, think about it. Think about it to yourself. Do you think that as soon as you saw it, that's when it got there? Think about that. Do you think it
Not
literally
at all.
got there right when you saw it?
Mm-mm. It's been there.
It's been there. Now, how long? Who knows? But you only know it's there once you become aware of it, when you see it. But it's been there. Now, it may be a minute, it may be 5. Who knows? You don't know how long it's been. But just because you didn't know, does that mean it's not in there? So then it still counts that it's in there, right? So a lot of things that we think about ourselves and feel about ourselves, those are beliefs that we've held for a long time. We're just not aware of them until something brings our awareness to it. Somebody calls you stupid, and you get so enraged because you really think it's true. You just didn't realize it until they said it. But I'm trying, but you don't realize you fly off the hook. We don't realize a lot of concepts we hold, a lot of beliefs that we hold about ourselves and about life and about things until they're challenged, until it's put right in front of your face. And then you say, well, I didn't. Well, what do you mean? They're yours. But yeah, but I didn't. But they're yours. They're your feelings. They're your thoughts. They're your beliefs. Otherwise, you couldn't have fear, worry, and anxiety about something if you didn't have it. So then if you got it, how'd you get it? And what is it in regards to? Why do you have that? So sometimes flies get in, little bugs get in. We left something open. We left our mind open to something. Somebody told us, well, the economy's getting bad, right? And you're an entrepreneur and you're like, oh, well, maybe I should. You already need to open the door half the time because you're not adjusting due to wisdom. You're adjusting due to fear and panic. You let your mind tell you that because the world changed, you changed. Do you know how many recessions there's been in the world? You know how many depressions there have been in the world? And you're going to change with every one of them? You're not supposed to change who you are because of the outside world. You look at the outside world and say, am I happy with who I am as it relates to that? Do I want to be something different? You are an entrepreneur. You are the creator. You're on your own. You have to understand that so that you understand that everything, like Veronica always talks about, a lot of times when you first become an entrepreneur, you have to fire yourself out of jobs until you get to the top and basically you can move on. Right? Well, guess what? You got to think your way to the top. You got to fire fear, anxiety, and worry. You can't stay there. Otherwise, like Veronica says, you can't grow your business. You can't grow yourself with fear, anxiety, and worry. You can't grow with that. That's like you planting a garden and then walk around with Clorox bleach, just pouring it all on your stuff. You can't grow anything with that. It's toxic. It's a poison. It's a chemical that'll mess your stuff up. But we keep finding the most austere and astute ways to keep some hot mess. We find the most educated, ignorant ways that we fluff up. It's like going to the bathroom and then spraying afterward and acting like that's going to change everything right away. Come on, man. I mean, sometimes we got to just say it what it is so that we can understand exactly what we're doing. Right? No. Everybody, including you, still knows what happened. So you trying to find a nice way to do the wrong thing ain't going to work. You trying to find some kind of beautiful, brilliant excuse still makes it an excuse. Yeah, well, I can't wash my car because, okay, whatever reason you're going to give me after I can't wash my car doesn't matter because the outcome is going to stay the same. So then why are we talking about the reasons? They're not reasons, they're just excuses because nothing's going to change. Excuses don't change things. You are an entrepreneur. That's why there's only your name on your birth certificate and on your social security card as far as you being the owner of that thing. You're an entrepreneur whether you like it or not. But most people are entrepreneurs by default and ignorance because they're unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable. Most people are suffering because in their mind they're underemployed, unemployed, and unemployable. They don't think well. They don't think properly. They're not responsible mentally. So they tell themselves stuff like, I have a bad memory, or I can't afford it, or They said, he said, she said, you ain't gonna believe it. The weather, the economy, tariffs, Republicans, Democrats, oh, this or that. They're not hiring. I can't this. Well, I gotta stay. Well, I got okay. But you're the entrepreneur, whatever you say goes. Isn't that what happens when you're the owner of the business? Whatever you say go, isn't that it? Uh, you're the creator, you're the entrepreneur, you're on your own. Whatever you say goes. But I'm trying to let you know that you are an entrepreneur and literally you can create a mansion with peanut butter, crackers, and some soup. You can literally change your life from where you are right now by changing your awareness, by starting to tell yourself something different. That's not positive thinking. It's positive in the sense of I am choosing to think what I want to experience in physical reality. That's positive thinking. Just like 2 + 2 is 4. Is that a positive answer? It's just correct. Choosing to tell yourself, I have a spiral staircase and a water fountain, this or that and the other, because this is what I tell myself. And sooner or later, this will become physical fact. And what do you say? Every day, I just meditated, meaning all he did was keep his awareness there. However you do that, scripting, journaling, affirmations, visualizing, just every time you think of that, that's what you say. You don't sit there and say, I can't afford it. What does money got to do with it? Did he have any? Did he use any? Did he need any? Did he know her? Did she know him? Did he ask her for something? So then everything you're saying that it takes to be successful is not a law. It's just a law you made for yourself. It's not a law because otherwise, how did he get it? And what did it say? God is no what?
Respecter of persons.
Respecter of persons, respecter of a persona, respecter of character, respecter of Monique or Veronica. Those are just persons, personas, mass characters. I am is both underneath the face of both of you is I am. So how can I am respect Veronica more than Monique and vice versa? It's no respecter. You're the same. How? How do you think he was able to get something from someone who had exactly what he needed and she wanted to give it to him? Because I am is no respecter of persons. I am as I am. I am Joseph. I am her. I am the requester. I am the giver. I am is no respecter. It's the same thing. All things are made of I am. All things are made from I am. So if you say I can't afford it, who else are you going to go to afford it? Where else are you going to go? There's nowhere else to go. Until you change your mind, there's nowhere to go. And we all say, I can't afford it. Whether it's in our money, it's in our health, it's in our relationships, it's in whatever it is. We feel that feeling of, I can't. But if you can't, who can? That's what I'm trying to impress upon you. I'm not beating you up for the thought. I am trying to arrest you from the thought. I'm trying to remove you from that thought because that is Titanic. There's a lot of good people who die, but you still die if you're on that boat. You're going to die with that thought, meaning you're going to remain as you are. You're going to sink. Being a good person has nothing to do with if you're on the Titanic. You're about to get wet tonight, baby. And hopefully you can swim. Right? That's what I'm trying to impress upon you. If you can't, who can? Who else is going to do it for you? Now, if you can ever find somebody to do it, I'll let you off the hook. If you can find somebody else to say, let there be light, you can, man, introduce me to them because I want to talk to them too. There's a whole lot of stuff I want to offload. Because any of you that talk to me on any type of regular basis will tell you, I am walking the same walk I'm talking to you about. Every day. It is a lifestyle. It's not, I'm not putting this on like some kind of pastor or some kind of priest and then taking this off and I'm out here saying crazy stuff, doing crazy stuff, meaning thinking against myself, talking. No, I'm living the same lifestyle. Who else is going to do it for me? Who else is going to? That's why I said, if you know somebody, let me know. I have no shame in my game. I will offload this stuff, boy, like you won't believe. I'll be cutting you in line. I'll be there before you get there. Send me the address. You could be next door, get off the phone, come inside, and I'll be sitting on the couch. That's how fast I'll be there. If there's somebody else to help us do what we're trying to do. There isn't. Everything is you. You are omniscient. You're all-knowing. You're omnipotent. You're all-powerful. You're omnipresent. You're everywhere. Where else you going to go and you're not there? Everything is made up of you. Everything is comprised of you. You're the creator of all things. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. And because you're that creator, you don't have to wait for anything. You could be with your crackers, your peanut butter, and your soup and come up with a mansion without a penny out of your pocket. Because it's all yours anyway. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's all yours anyway, up here. Your awareness, you choose up here, and it will bring it to you here. It brought it to him, didn't it? Everything. There was no almost, kind of close. I got everything, but got everything he wanted and stuff he didn't even ask for. Maintenance, taxes for the property. Do we forget that?
No. All covered.
All covered. How could it be all covered and I can't afford it? Which one is it? Which one is it? That's why it says in the book, choose this day who you serve. Choose. You have to choose this day your awareness. Choose your awareness this day. What are you serving? What are you serving your awareness that your awareness is going to serve you? When you order at a restaurant, who ordered?
I am.
So then what did you get?
What I ordered.
What I ordered.
Okay. So you understand that, right? So when you say I can't afford it, you understand you ordered, right? When you say I have bad memory, you understand I ordered, right? When you say, oh, they or them, or I can't get 10 people, or I'm worried, or I'm nervous, or I'm fear, or I'm anxious, you understand you ordered that, right?
Get it off the menu.
Right? You do understand that, right? You ever, we've all ordered something in a restaurant and we're like, man, this one wasn't a good one. Right? It's all happened to us. It's happened. Right? But we still, and how do we know? We didn't know we didn't like it until we ate it. Well, you better think about what you're saying, because whatever you ordering, whatever you're saying, you're going to eat. That's why it says, according to your faith, be it unto you. According to your decision. You're making decisions every day of every moment. And when you keep saying they, them, that, when you keep going out there, that is what you're kneeling to. And now that is your awareness. You've now made that your creator. The economy, this, how long you've been on Instagram, how many posts you made, how many this you made. What did he do to get what he did? He said, I went within myself, I decided who I was, and every day I kept that decision. Every day I decided I was this. Now he's making tapes, he's doing something, but he's doing what he believes himself to be. I want to make these tapes. He said it was in there making these tapes every day. So it wasn't like he was up in there just sleep. It's not, but if he was up there making tapes every day, do you think that would have got him a mansion? Veronica, do you think that would have got him a mansion? Hey, Veronica, I want a mansion, and so I'm going to go up in the room, and I want all these things in a mansion, so I'm going to go up in the room and make some tapes. Do you think how would that sound?
Crazy.
Crazy. But
unless you're selling them mixtape.
Right. And so he got his mansion. So is it still crazy?
Mm.
But see how your mind will play tricks on you? Your mind will tell you it's unreasonable. But in that story, if it worked, how is it unreasonable? Your mind will tell you it's delusional, but if it worked, is it? No, the delusion is that you think you have to remain in peanut butter crackers and soup. The delusion is you can't afford it. The delusion is my memory. The delusion is I am not with 10 people. That's the delusion. But that's the delusion that keeps you in the dark. If it were delusional, how did he get it? If it were a lie, how did he get it? If it's not true, how did he get it? If it's unrealistic, how did he get it? So then if he got it, then everything he did to get it is the way, is the truth, is the life, is true, is correct, is the right way. He got everything. He wasn't short. He didn't beg, borrow, steal, didn't take a loan, didn't find anybody, didn't go beat on somebody's door. There was no social media. There was nobody. She didn't have his phone number. They had never spoken, never met. How does that work? This story I read to you, and Vanessa, I don't know how you can do it. Please put it in the chat or something so people can keep it or have it, or I don't know how you can do it. If you can, great. If you can't, don't worry about it. I'm just talking. But
Do what?
I'm sorry?
Do what?
Put the
Say that
story,
again.
yeah, in the chat or something, or I don't know, however you can do it or whatever's good.
Okay.
But I read that story because that story is the truth. The truth is you are the person that is dreaming and you are the person that's rewarded. You're both. And when you start dreaming, you'll find the version of yourself that's rewarding. It's all within you. That's why he visualized on his own. It's all within you. You couldn't have the idea if it didn't already exist. You're just not experiencing it, but you can't experience what you're unaware of, that you're unwilling to be aware of. And you're unwilling to be aware when you say, well, I'm stuck where I am. Well, it's dark, so there can't be light. I'm stuck here eating peanut butters and crackers and soup, so I can't be rich. I'm stuck with a bad memory, so I can't know everything. I'm stuck like this, so I can't have 10 clients. I'm stuck. Well, then you're the creator, not creating. You're the entrepreneur, not leading, and both are going to end up in failure, even though you still are. So you just failed as a creator. You failed as an entrepreneur. You didn't fail as something else. You failed exactly as the power and the title you have. You just failed at it. You decided to be a failure as you are when you didn't have to be. You don't get to say you're something else because you failed. No, you failed as you are. As the person that could get a mansion, eating soup, crackers, and everything else for free and get your maintenance and taxes paid. You can do all this stuff. How is it delusional? How is it not real? How is it fake? How is it? And it sounds to me like he worked less hard to get something that he got everything. He worked less hard than all of you and got everything he wanted and more. And he worked less hard for it than all of you do. At your business, killing yourself every day, all day, because you won't tell yourself that you are something. Sitting in the dark, eating peanut butter, crackers, and soup when it doesn't have to be that hard. If you have a desire, there's a version of you that can meet it. If you have a desire to have clients, there's 10 clients for you. It's not a matter of finding them externally. It's a matter of you becoming aware of being the person who has them internally. He when he was visualizing, he was being aware. He was conditioning his awareness to be aware of being the person who has that house. It's about your awareness changes who you're being, who you're aware of being. You're aware of being the person eating peanut butter, crackers, and soup. He didn't like that. So he said, I'm going to now be aware of the person who has a house. That is what you are supposed to be doing. Did he go out in the world and start taking, did he have a GoFundMe? Did he go ask people for money? Did he go to the bank for a loan? Did he? No. Your awareness knows how to get you everything, but it only gets you what you are. It only gets you, you. Who you are is what you get, not who you know, not what you think you know. Who you are is what you get. Once you understand that, you can have anything. Because the things are physical reflections of you. So when you change you to become the owner of this thing, the thing naturally becomes a part of your life because it's natural for you as you are to have that thing. It's natural for you to have it. It's unnatural for you to have 10 clients with fear, anxiety, and worry. What do you think you're going to give them? Fear, anxiety, and worry. All you're going to do is transfer what you got to them. Who wants that? And you think because you can't see these things, they don't smell. Who can see perfume? Anybody see perfume on somebody? Anybody see it? But can't you smell it? Yeah, you don't see fear and anxiety and worry in someone, but you can smell it. You can smell the odor of it. It comes out. How you gonna help somebody and you rolling with it? And I don't mean in moments. I mean as an identity. We all have a moment where our breath is taken away. We're like, oh shoot, I need to. That's not fear, anxiety, and worry. I'm talking about as a state where you become aware of literally having it, possessing it, where that's what you're describing in the car with your eyes. You're describing fear, anxiety, worry. That's where your awareness was. And you did a great job of moving it, of making a conscious choice to stop yourself and say, no, I'm going to change my awareness to this. And you use chat to do it. Well, he was aware of peanut butter, crackers, and soup and living in a room to, I want to become aware of living in a mansion. And he moved his awareness. And then where he was it was physically expressed. It's about just changing your awareness. This is an awareness game. Where am I? Where am I focused? I can only see where I'm focused. I can't see back here. I can only see here. Well, I'm looking at this so much, I just feel, okay, but if you don't care enough to see this and you let your feelings keep you stuck here, this does exist, but you'll never see it because you're aware, you're not looking at it. You're letting your feelings keep you how you feel, your fears, your stress, your worries, anxiety, history, how long I feel, I fear, you're letting it keep you here when this is just as available. It's right here. All I got to go is do like this. That's it. But you're giving yourself all the reasons that you can't do this. Well, Dr. Joseph Murphy didn't do that. He was like, yeah, this peanut butter cracker thing. Yeah, I think I want this measure. Oh, yeah, hey. Yeah, so for 5 months, he was going like this. Sooner or later, boom, it's right here. It's always been there. It's just about changing your awareness of who you're being to see it. Because you only see what you're aware of. You only see where you are. Like when Monique was describing things out of her window, right? In that example, you can only see where you are. Where you are, what you're aware of, that's where you are. What humanity calls where you are in body, your awareness is that psychologically. That's where you are. That's what you are. And therefore, that's what you're describing. You can start right now today where you are with soup, peanut butter, and crackers and say, I want this. Go back into the story, read it over and over and see where he started. See how he described himself. I want this, I want that, I want this. Every day he said he decorated, put more stuff in it. How? Did it say he got a raise? How you keep putting more stuff in this house that you don't have, that costs more money that you don't have, and you still keep adding? Wouldn't people call that delusional? Insane, crazy, straight jacket? But that's cool. But if you have proof for something, what does it care what people, what do you care what people think? You got proof. You gonna tell me I'm crazy in my house? With the court or the Oriental rug you standing on? You go to with the water fountain you just looking at? That's you with the staircase that we just walked up? I bet you won't call me crazy then, though. I won't be delusional now, though. But isn't that what an entrepreneur is? Somebody who's willing to bring something from nothing, from the unseen to the seen? Isn't that what a creator does? Isn't that what an entrepreneur does? Isn't that what a God does? Isn't that what it says you are? You are gods, all of you, sons of the Most High. I try to stay away from the word because most of us don't know what it means, so it makes us say, "Oh, think all kind of craziness." But how can you be doing all the same things and not be it? How can you create pixelnamics from nothing and not be God or creator and entrepreneur? How can you not? Forget the title. Aren't you doing the same actions? So then, whatever you could call it, an entrepreneur, you could call it a space astronaut. If you're doing the same things, why does it matter what you call it? If you got a business, isn't that what you are? If you brought it up from the dust of the ground, formed it from the dust of the ground, isn't that what you're doing? If you're the owner of it and you're on your own, isn't that what you are? Isn't that what you're doing? Call it whatever you want. God, creator, entrepreneur. You could call it light bulb, headache. You could call it whatever you want. This is what you're doing. You're on your own, creating everything as an entrepreneur. You are saying, I am or I am not. That's it. I am, if that's what you like, you're going to feel good. I am not. If you don't, you're going to feel bad. If you have feelings that you don't like, it's because you are I am not. You are something you don't want to be. You're not what you want to be. I am is not something it wants to be. So then change the not to am. I am that. Instead of not that. I am that. I have that. I am. And your feelings will change because you'll feel different about what you are and about what you're being. All right, questions, comments. Want to leave a little more room just in case.
Well, I used some of today's lesson, first of all, for me, but I also shared some of this with my friend who recently had a stroke. And I will admit, in sharing, there was an element of diplomacy in my communication, but not veering from the truth. And I will see a change. I was about to use a wrong word. I corrected myself. I was about to say, hopefully, I'll see a change. So I scratch, hopefully, I X'd it out, I whited it out. I will see a change in the recovery of my friend.
If you're building a house and you have construction workers at your house, do you want them to build it or hope it?
Build it. Build it,
Do you
not hope it.
do you want it to be correct or almost correct?
Correct.
Right. So I'm using, and what you said was perfect. I'm using what you said to expound on it, to say this is not semantics we're playing. This is not like word. No, this is, what is your intent? I want somebody who knows what they're doing. I don't want somebody trying. I want this outcome. I don't want to hope this outcome. I don't want to wish this outcome. I don't want to maybe one day somewhere over the rainbow, the yellow eyes, and click my heels. I don't have time for that. I want this, right? I want that, this. I need this. I need money. I need health. I need this. I want money. I want health, whatever. I want that. I don't want something like it. I don't want to dream about getting paid. I don't want to dream. I want to get paid. I want this outcome. I don't want to wish. If I contract you to fix something or build something, I want you to do it. I don't want you to wish. I don't want you to be off a little bit. I don't want you to be leaning a little bit. I want everything. I want it right. Right? And that's what you say to yourself. This is what I want from this situation. I don't want something kind of like it. I don't want it to be almost, but I didn't get everything, but you can't get everything. No, I don't want that. I want that. I want 10,000 a month. I want a great relationship. I want this. I want that. I want this. I don't want 10. Well, it's close this month. It was 7,800. But look, you got 10. No, I want 10,000 every month. I don't want 10,000 like most months. I don't want 10,000 when the economy is good. I don't want 10,000 if there's no tariffs. There's no conditions. God said, let there be light. There was no like, hold on, let me put my back brace on. Let me put my ankle brace on. Hold on, let me take my medicine. Hold on. No, let there be light. This is what I want. This is where I am. This is what I want. So I am no longer that. I'm now this. I don't want it like, what if there's let there be light 3 days a week? What if there's let there be light if there's no global warming? What if if you you have more conditions than a drug commercial. You have put more limitations on your good and wonder why you'll never get it. You have just as many symptoms and you have as many side effects as symptoms. The end will be just as bad as the beginning, because you keep putting all these limitations. Well, if I want to have these many clients, I got to do this. Well, if you want to have a mansion, would any of you, for Joseph Murphy to get what he wanted in the end, would any of you would have told him to do what he did? I mean, would you just say, just make your tapes and just keep vigilant? Would any of you have said that? You want to see why I don't care what you think? Meaning somebody who thinks like me, somebody who thinks meaning when you're in your right mind, whoever you are, me, you, they, them, but you don't care what other people think when they don't know how to think, because they would never tell you how to get something and you got it the way you got it, and they would have never given you that advice. So then why do I need your advice now? If the advice you're going to give me wouldn't have led me to what I got, why do I care what you think? Why do I care if you think I'm reasonable, rational? Why do you think I care? If you don't like what I say or you don't like, I don't care. I don't care, because I don't care what you want. I just want you to have it. I don't care what you want. I'm telling you, you can get a mansion with cracker soup and peanut butter. He did it. So what does it matter? But you wouldn't have told him to do it that way. So then you're wrong then. Then maybe you should keep your opinion to yourself and learn how to get your thing off. And stop telling yourself that you need to know somebody and you need to be able to talk to this person first. And he didn't. He didn't know the person, and he didn't have no money, and he didn't get another job. He didn't have to get a raise. He didn't, but he got what he wanted, because you are the entrepreneur. You are it. So we're not wishing for anything. We're not hoping for anything. We're not hoping that it's kind of close to, and if they could just know, this is what I want to see in my life. Otherwise, I'm not the entrepreneur. Otherwise, I'm not the creator, or otherwise, I'm not a good one. So when we say yes, everyone's an entrepreneur because that's your nature. But most people aren't entrepreneurs. Meaning they're entrepreneurs by default. Meaning they're entrepreneurs with a bad mind. So they're still entrepreneurs. They're just failing. They're still the owner of their life. They're just failing. But that's why they're failing, because they're the owner and they suck. They're horrible at it. because they're this, they're that, they're everything they don't want to be. They spend all their awareness on what they don't want. They spend all their time worried and stressed and anxious. But look where their awareness is. You spend all your time in the wrong place, and you're not aware enough as an entrepreneur that you're on your own, that if you don't change where you are, you can't see, have, be, do, experience anything different. Because you're over here, and none of this is what you want, but you spend all your time here. All of it. He decided to spend all his time here, and he ended up there. Crackers, peanut butter, and soup. So you can't say you got to be rich. You can't say you got to know somebody. You can't say you have to know the person. You can't say you have to have a job. You can't say you have to make certain more money. You can't say you can't say any of those things. It didn't happen. And the law is no respecter of person. So whatever I am, your awareness will do for one, it will do for another. It's the same being. Just because you got a different face mask on, it's the same. You don't have to have all that, but you believe you do. So then you wonder why you got to go through it all, because you believe you do. You're the owner. If you set up all the rules for your company, don't your employees have to go through all the rules? Well, you're the owner. And guess what? Veronica's the employee. And Veronica's going to experience everything that the owner, her awareness, is thinking. Unless Veronica says, hey, awareness, I want you to do this for me. I want you to do this for me and this for me. This experience I want to have. But if you're unwilling to do that because you started off in the mailroom, or because there's a tariffs out here, or because the weather's bad, or because of this, all the reasons you giving yourself ain't gonna change nothing. Because there's not reasons, there's just excuses. You're not changing. You're just finding ways that make you feel better about staying the same, and trying to find ways to feel better about something you don't want or you don't like. It's like Leslie gave me that definition years ago. Gratitude for most people is just trying to find reasons to like what you don't like or what you don't want. That ain't real gratitude. Nobody told I am didn't stay in the dark talking about gratitude. He didn't stay up here eating soup and everything else talking about gratitude. He wrote The Power of the Subconscious Mind. It's one of the best-selling books of all time. Eating peanut butter, crackers, and soup. So the same person wrote the book. You have everything in you right now. He didn't become a different person physically. He became a different person in awareness and consciousness. Started telling himself something different. And now he's writing. He was a priest. All of his brothers and sisters. He had 10 brothers and sisters. He was a priest. All of his brothers were priests, and all of his sisters were nuns. And he eventually got out of it because things he started thinking conflicted with the Catholic Church. So he got out of it. And he decided to start doing, that's when he started making his tapes. He was on his own. He left the priesthood and wrote The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Living in a mansion. You have everything in you already, and your desires are only there to get your awareness to pick it. That's why he didn't have to go outside of himself. He went inside himself and picked the next version of himself, and by doing that, it exploded. It came out. As above, so below, as within, so without. So when you go within, when you change yourself within, that is what you're seeing on the without. Everything you've already pushed out, you're seeing it. When you go into a restaurant, what are you seeing? All the food that's already been cooked. When you see people eat when you walk in, you're seeing them, but didn't it come from the same place that your food that hasn't been cooked yet? Isn't it coming from the same place? So you're just seeing one that's been cooked before yours, but it's coming from the same place. All you're seeing is the Veronica you are now. The next one you're going to be is in you right now. And your awareness, your desire is designed to get you to turn your awareness to the next version of you that you want to be. But instead of looking in, you look without. You look at your bank. You look at this, you look at that, you look at this, and you're not looking at the place that's actually the place that will get you to what you want to see out there. That's what I'm trying to tell you all. Okay, next question, next statement. Move on. Got me upset.
2 minutes.
What else we got?
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I think for me, part of what I struggle with is the feelings of the discomfort, like the human feelings of the discomfort of the choice of the next thing that's the unknown. It's what I want, it's what I prefer, it's what I'm meditating on, but it also brings me this feeling of angst and fear that I have to figure out how to let go of or suppress, or what do I do with that?
So to your point, so the unknown is not actually unknown. It's you know it because that's why you want it. That's why Shakespeare said, "You would not have looked for me if you hadn't already found me." That thing that we call unknown is not unknown in the place that it needs to be, which is your awareness. That's why you like it. That's why you want it. And so it's known to your awareness. It's just not known to your experience, to your physical body's experience.
Mm.
That's why you want it, because in consciousness it exists, but in humanity you haven't experienced it yet. But you can't experience anything in humanity that your awareness is not aware of. So your desire is designed to get you to shift your awareness to now being aware of this experience, so that now that experience can become physical. Your brain becomes uncomfortable with something new. Your ego becomes uncomfortable with something new because it's essentially death to it. You're no longer that.
Yes.
I remember my daughter when she was in, Jesus, what grade? Third or fourth. It was probably second grade, I think. Second grade, I think. She had probably two of her most favorite teachers she's ever had. So when she graduated and when she went to third grade, man, she cried like a baby because she didn't want to leave them. Those were like some of her favorite teachers, Hillary and Danette. I remember them because of how much they meant to her. She cried like, I mean, you'd have thought the world was over. To her, it was. Because she was going to third grade. It was death to this experience. And her brain, her experience didn't know what this new one was going to be. It just knew what this current one was. And it was like, I'm giving up everything I know. And in this case, everything I know and love for something that to me is unknown in experience. And I don't want to give that up. So she was, I feel like crying just thinking about it. Like Jesus, you would have thought those were her parents. She was holding on to the leg and everything, literally, right? And now when we look back and we laugh as far as just the joy of how wonderful they were to her and how grateful she is. And we've gone back a couple of times for her to see them because they're still there because of how much they meant. But do you think she still wants to be in second grade? No. But when you're in it and leaving it, you're like, this is death. I don't know what's coming up, this or that or the other. Right? So it's normal. That's natural. That's okay. That is your brain. That's your human brain, your ego mind saying, like I always tell you, it's not there to keep you safe. Safe meaning it's not there to protect you from something good or bad. It's there. Protection to it means keep it the same. I want to stay in second grade forever because I know it. I like it. This is how it is. I'm comfortable with it. You know, I'm the high schooler with a Letterman jacket who graduates but still hangs out in the front of the school because I'm more comfortable with this thing I've been rather than walking around in college in a new environment. You're like, man, why are you still here? You should be, right? So I'm saying all that to say that your brain, that your ego mind is just wanting to keep you the same. It's comfortable with that. And it doesn't like anything new. It's deaf to it. It's like, well, what does this mean? Well, what am I going to, well, how do you know it's going to, why don't we just stay as we are? Why don't we just stay in this? But what if you would have stayed as you were 2 years ago? You personally, look at what you are now. What you are now is what you could have always been, but you could not be that until you were willing to leave the second grade of that time, the second grade of that day. What you were then, you had to leave to become what you are now. And what you are now, you have to leave to become what you want to be next. It's always going to be that way. Humanity thinks that way because humanity is not creative. It is created. It doesn't have the power to create something new. It only has the power to choose something new. Your mind, your awareness has the power to create the new. That's the one that's telling you, hey, there's something out there. But it knows what it is, and so it gives it to you in the form of desire, that sweet, attractive smell that says, yeah, I'd like that. Your human mind is like, well, what? Like what? I ain't seen it. I've never been there. What do you mean? How's that going to work? Well, that's its natural function because it doesn't know. It doesn't create anything. It just repeats what you've given it. And that's okay. Both are true. You just realize like, hey, it's time for me to graduate. Hey, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything. But I'm moving on now. I'm now identifying myself with third grade as a third grader. I'm identifying myself as this new thing. And I understand that my human mind is going to feel a certain way. But guess what? Your human mind got used to the next boyfriend too. It got used to the next car too. It got used to the next pair of shoes too. But we all hated to let that person go at that moment. It hurt, whether we were glad we did it, but it still hurt because you were familiar with it, right? That's just a part of our humanity. And that's okay. But we still have to learn that, hey, you can't be in second grade forever if you want to get a college degree or if you want to drive a car. If there's so many other things that you want to do and be that you can't remain as you are to be it. right? So you're okay with, I love this thing. It was great. It was wonderful. But now it's time for me to pack it up. Peace. I'm out. Gotta go. And then you put your mind on this new relationship, this new version of yourself, and you get to know it. You start spending time with it, like you saw Joseph Murphy do. He visualized. I mean, that's just his way of spending time with his new self. So you find a way to spend time with your new self. And the more you do that, the more into you'll get, and the less into the old. You'll just forget. You'll forget to call. You'll forget to write. You'll forget. And after a while, you'll this new thing, you know what? This new thing that seems new, this new thing that you finally adopt and adapt, you'll be trying to hold on to that too in 2 years. This new thing that you're going into now, you'll be trying to hold on 2 years from now. Because it will feel the same way as this thing you're leaving now. That's the way each stage feels when we leave. That's the way second grade to third grade, elementary to middle, middle to high, high to college, college out, right? We always hold on to what we have until we're enticed by something more. But even though we are, it's enough to get us to move, but it still doesn't take away the feelings of what we had, of what we've been doing, because that's what we know. And there's nothing wrong with that. Both of those things are true. So we can still love it, we can still miss it, but we can't stay. Not if we want to ride a bike, get a driver's license, ride that horse without a saddle. We got to get to that is who we are. It's natural to keep growing. That is who I am is. It's a constant expansion of awareness. And the only way it can continue to expand its awareness is through experiences. That's why it put 8 billion of us out here. We put ourselves in 8 billion forms because Veronica experiences come back. Your experiences come back. Monique's comes back. Dennis's comes back. Sarita's comes back. It all comes back to the one being, to one awareness I am, so that it can expand itself as all it is. Right? That's why we like to have certain experiences, because it makes us more, it expands us when we go on vacation, when we meet a new friend, when we start a new school, start a new grade, start a new business. Why do we think we want to do that? Because it's not about the thing, it's about the experience. And the experience is what gives us the feeling. It's what allows us, that's what we're going to be able to take with us forever. You can take second grade with you forever, even though you're no longer in second grade. You can take the experience of being. Second grade is just the same thing as being a business. It's new, you get used to it, and then you grow out of it into the next thing. But that experience is what allows you to say, I was in second grade. I know what that feels like. So I can add that to my toolbox of experience of life. So that's all. It's okay to feel that way about leaving. But the reason you want to leave is because the next thing that you're aware of, that desire of $100,000 day or $10 million business, that is just as true as second grade. And so your desire is to get you to move to that truth too. You can't just stay here. You keep going forward as ever greater, ever expansion. You're going to get to see how wonderful you are. You're going to get to see how amazing you are. But it's like putting that child on the horse for the first time, or putting your children on a bike for the first time. It feels a little shaky because it's new, but that's what your awareness is there for, is to help you hold the handlebars, is to put the training wheels on there and to guide you through it. Then after a while, in a couple of weeks, you're down the street, and your mom and them like, wait, you down the street doing wheelies and all, that thing that you were first afraid of, now you're conquering. That's the way it is with everything. So each new stage feels new because it's actually a new stage. It's not you on the same level. It's you that has been raised to another level. It's designed to get you up, not remain more of the same level. It's to raise you. And that can feel tricky, and that's okay too. But you just keep spending time with that new you. This is who I am now. This is who I am now. And you'll get comfortable with it. You'll feel more familiar with it. And all those feelings that are associated with the first day of school, that newness, right, starts to just feel like, oh, this is just school now. This is just school. Did that answer your question?
Yes. And I've been doing that in my meditation. When these thoughts come to me, I just say, thank you, but you can go now.
That's it. Just keep dating that new person. It's just every day you get more familiar and you stop thinking about the other person more and more. So more and more here, less and less there. And just literally what you said is perfect. Literally, you don't have to fight it. That's what your brain does. It literally just repeats what it knows until it knows something else. And then this new thing will feel like the only thing too. And then that'll feel like death when you're ready to leave that too. Right?
Right.
It's a good thing. But Leslie, you're doing it perfect. That's exactly right.
I
Excellent.
thank you for that question and that answer, because both were for all of us. I just think it was so on point. Thank you, Leslie.
Always, always.
100%.
We're all having the same experience.
Yes.
That's it. That's what we're here for, to have an experience. That's it. All we're here is to have experiences. We came here to have experience. not having them, we're not doing it right. That's what we came here for. We didn't come here to just sit still. We came here to have experiences. And if we understand that, then we're okay with continually having new ones, because that's what we came here for. It's literally what we came here to have: continuous, ever increasing experiences, right? To get to know ourselves as all that we are, because I am is everything.
Yes.
But so the more I get to know Karen, the more I get to know of myself. The more I get to know Dennis, the more I get to know of myself, because I am is us both, just with a persona on, a mask. So since I think it looks different, I am curious to see what it is. I'm curious to get to know Karen or Dennis or Veronica or Sabrina. I'm curious to get to know another aspect of myself. But I would only be curious because I think it looks different. If I knew it was me, I'd be like, oh. But I'm like, oh, who is that? And I get to meet that person. And then I get to see another aspect of myself. That's all it is. All right. All right. Anything else before I let you all go?
As always, perfectly well said, Coach.
Yes.
Thank you, Coach.
Wonderful. Wonderful, everyone. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, Vanessa, anything you want to say?
Thank you. No, definitely thank you for everything. If you guys are interested in getting more Coach Lucky, we do have the youth circle. We meet on Tuesdays, and then you get a one-on-one with Coach Lucky as well. So, you can either go to the website or reach out to me. I'll send you the link, and invite your friends to Saturday, because we're back. We're back to the public. We're back to letting everyone in. And have a wonderful weekend. I did share the public Canva link for the slides that I put together for the story.
Perfect.
Hopefully that works.
Read them. Go over them. You can see yourself in it. You can see where you're like, oh, okay, I see you can see yourself in it. You can see that you can start where you are right now today and end up in a mansion. You can see that you don't have to make it work. You make it work by assuming you are what you want to be. And your awareness, you assume the awareness, and the awareness creates the experience. That's the way to do it. Assume you are what you want to be, and that assumption will create the physical experience, because it's your awareness believing itself, right? It's saying, let there be. So yes, right? Go over it and over it and over it. You'll see so many things that will answer your own questions about thoughts, right?
And I can afford it.
There you
I
go.
was gonna say, thanks for saying that.
Yes.
And so can I.
That's it.
Right
There you
on.
go.
Well, think about it. If you can't, who can?
Nobody.
If not you,
I said that on mute. Nobody.
right? Like, if not you, who? Because whoever you would tell, well, they can. Well, their name is I am, just like you. So they're afforded. It just means they're aware enough to have the experience, because they're aware of having the experience. You are not aware enough to have your experience. But if you just change your awareness, you have the same experience they're having. There's no respect. There is no difference between the two except what you're aware of. It's not in potential. It's not in power. It's not in ability. It's only in awareness. So we a lot of times will just put more effort into the labor while keeping the same awareness, and effort doesn't do it. Only awareness does. Labor doesn't do it. Only awareness does. You know, that's why you don't see 3-year-olds building mansions and condos. They can just try as hard with their little Fisher toy set, trying to hit that they're not building no buildings. They don't have that level of awareness yet, right? That's active and actuating. So it's not your labor that's your salvation. It's your awareness. There's only one savior. The created is not where your knee should ever bow. It's only to your awareness that you confess that this is what I am now. And you will see that it will become physical experience. That's what this is. So, all right, y'all. Have a good one.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you so much. All of the questions, all of the answers were awesome. Thank you.
All good. Thank you.